Step back in time to the story I Can Do It by Ted Albert, where a brave girl defies tradition, tames a mystical stallion, and proves that courage and wisdom know no gender.
Many centuries ago, there was a large island in the China Sea. It was named Mahnstrongg. The ruler, Mahnstrongg, took pride in the strength of his army and the strength of the boys and men living in Mahnstrongg. A peasant and his family lived far from the main city and worked tirelessly in the fields every day. He and his wife had a single child, a girl named Ayecann. They were proud of Ayecann, teaching her a variety of skills beyond those expected of girls. Ayecann was proud of what she could do and thankful for the way she had been raised. Her mother and father were great teachers, and she mastered everything they taught to her. One day, an invading army landed on the shores of Mahnstrongg. There were many days of battle, many days of intense fighting, and as in all battles, there are many losses. The advisor of Mahnstrongg approached him and said, "Your Majesty, the enemy is retreating. We have won. But we have lost many warriors and must now rebuild the army." He added, "I am saddened to say, the Prince and Great General have made the ultimate sacrifice. I am sorry." Mahnstrongg told his advisor to gather the council so they could plan a fitting tribute to the prince and decide how to rebuild the army. After a grand funeral for the prince, the council met and discussed ways to rebuild the army. But most importantly, a plan to find and replace the Great General. No one in the army had the skills necessary to become a general, so the council decided to seek every capable man in Mahnstrongg to find and select the new general. The council and Mahnstrongg sent couriers throughout the country with a challenge and a way to select the next general. You see, within Mahnstrongg there was a herd of wild horses. The herd was led by an almost mystical, strong, and most beautiful stallion, a rare and powerful stallion. Hear ye, all men of Mahnstrongg. The great Mahnstrongg offers the following challenge: seek and capture the mystical stallion and ride him to the palace. For this you will be rewarded with a prestigious position of General of the Army. Ayecann was listening in the background and said to herself, "I have better skills than these boys. I will capture the stallion and become the next general." For weeks, Ayecann watched as the men and boys chased the herd. Some even roped the stallion, but it always pulled free. Once, a boy roped it in a canyon and started whipping the stallion into submission. It didn't work. The stallion angrily pulled free, and the whipping made it even harder to get near the stallion. Ayecann observed and thought about all the skills and lessons her parents taught her. "I must first gain the trust of the stallion," said Ayecann. "Then I can treat it with kindness, and only then attempt riding it." All the boys and men laughed at this girl, who thought she could capture the mystical stallion. To the dismay of the boys and men, Ayecann gained the stallion's trust over the next several weeks. One night, when the boys and men were sleeping, she mounted the stallion and drove it to a secret valley, where she trained it for battle. Ready for the challenge, Ayecann confidently rode the stallion through the crowd of men and boys to the palace to meet Mahnstrongg. The great ruler saw the rider approaching on the back of the stallion. The palace guards and onlookers cheered, and trumpets were sounded. Then all went silent. No one could believe it was a girl who had captured and trained this magnificent stallion. The crowd then began to whisper that men and boys were being shamed. Ayecann rode the stallion directly to the great ruler. "I present to you the elusive and mystical stallion. You may take him for your next general, Ayecann said. You have achieved much, said Metoof. You did what no man or boy could. You showed wisdom and courage, and are willing to give me the stallion for the next general. Metoof continued, quoting Buddha, As Buddha taught me, though he should conquer 1,000 men in the battlefield 1,000 times, yet he, indeed, who would conquer himself is the noblest victor. Metoof looked at his people in silence and then said, Ayecann, you are the noblest victor, and my next general.